Hey everybody, welcome back to Tim Travels. It's Terry, your host, coming to you from the end of a day that should not have been really that long, but was. I got to my 90 at about, I checked in with the receiver at 11:23 for an 11:30 appointment. And I ended up sitting at a dock waiting to be completely unloaded for over 8 hours. I'm in Perrysburg, Ohio. So I'll give you a few more details here in a minute. But so I'm in Perrysburg at the Loves here, when we're right up the road from Maumee. And I think I might have mentioned it when I mentioned General Anthony Wayne before, but so there was this battle called the Battle of Fallen Timbers, and it was a battle on August 20th, 1794. So if you recall, the British had already been defeated by the colonists, right? And the Treaty of Paris had already been signed, and the United States existed, right? So the 13 colonies were now the 13 states. But as I've mentioned before, Ohio was what was called the Western Reserve. And so the United States had to fight forces hostile to it in the Northwest, which is, Ohio, but that was considered the Northwest. Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, were all considered the Northwest. And Ohio, by the way, later on, right, the Louisiana Purchase in 1803 would give us a lot of land that is, all the way from Louisiana up through Illinois and stuff like that. But that didn't include Ohio. But white settlers wanted to come into Ohio, and so the British, still hoping to stir up trouble, and obviously even going beyond this to the War of 1812, the British were not done with their chicanery on the North American continent. So the British had allied themselves with the Shawnee Native Americans, and Anthony Wayne, along with some other forces, met up with this Native/British force at Fallen Timbers. And Fallen Timbers was called that because there had been a tornado or maybe a derecho that had knocked down a bunch of woods, snapped off the trees near the Maumee River. And so there was a battle. It was significant in that it was the last battle of this kind of, Northwest war with the natives and British. The battle only lasted about an hour. There weren't a ton of casualties. Probably about 60 people killed on, total. At least 100 U.S. Personnel were reported wounded. But basically after that, the Shawnee withdrew, and this is the first step in Manifest Destiny. So regardless of what you think of it, it's just, those are the historical facts. So anyway, that's Battle of Fallen Timbers, and there is actually a little national park over there. It's not substantial. It wasn't a huge area. It's not like, Gettysburg or something. It's not a huge area, but anyway, I share that with you. Always some interesting history wherever you go. But today was kind of weird. Like yesterday, so I got this load, and I stayed home. So I had a load going to Pennsylvania, and I was gonna put B off the truck because I was going to start training, but then that kind of got pushed back. So I still had to load to Pennsylvania, but I was close to home, so I'm like, hey, I've been out since the 5th of July. Why don't you just I'll just take an extra day, hang out. Well, then what I didn't know is our friends were having their annual crab feast on Saturday afternoon, because I was originally going to go back on the road on Saturday morning, because I got home like Thursday night. I was going to hang out Friday and then go back on the road Saturday. So then I let my fleet manager know. I'm like, hey, make my availability for Sunday morning. So I'm glad I did that, because I got to see friends. I got to hang out because two of my adult children and their spouses came, and all of it was awesome, because it turns out our friends, they're sneaky, they got married at the crab feast. So the guy that was hosting the crab feast, a friend of ours, his fiance, friend of ours, longtime friend of ours. And so, you know, we're kind of like family, and we always get invited, and we know lots of people there. But it was cool because I got to meet a lot more of the extended family on both sides, people that I didn't know. And one of my sons-in-law actually was the officiant, because our friends, just like in the middle of the crab feast, were just like, hey everybody, we're getting married. And everybody's like, yay. We kind of knew that because you were engaged. And they're like, no, right now we're getting married. And that's exactly what they did. And it was very cool. Lots of people were surprised. My wife, she's smart. She kind of predicted it, because she listens to all those mystery shows all the time, right? Like those murder things on podcasts and everything. So she's always trying to put the pieces together, and she did. And in fact, I was like, it's crab feast. You know, I'm going in shorts and a t-shirt, right? It's outside, it's nice weather. And she's like, I want you to wear a collared shirt. I'm like, okay. So I had to dig out a polo. So our polo, she actually dressed up even more, but you know, I'm like the old man. But it was fun, and I'm glad I stayed for that. So anyway, I get off to a little bit, I kind of knew I needed to get a washout on the trailer that I had on my back. So I had this load to pick up at Hershey, and you know, we got a little bit of a late start, later than I wanted. And then we were almost to my truck, because my truck was at a place I could park it. And I was like, damn, I forgot my keys, my truck keys. And so we had to turn around and go back, and we grabbed a couple other things that I'd forgotten. But I still ended up forgetting my bedding. Luckily, I had an extra set here on the truck. But so we get to the truck, I go over to Blue Beacon, and they have, at the one in Carlisle, they have a straight, like just a washout line. And fortunately, that didn't take too long, but I still felt like I was running late. So as soon as I hooked this load, I stopped at a rest area on 81 outside of Harrisburg. Then I just got up early and drove over here. And, you know, so even though I felt like I was running late, I got to my 90 on time. But man, so I pull in, you know, and they're like, I go in, everything seems kind of normal. The guy's like, oh, we're gonna put you in door 132. I'm like, okay. So I back in, and when I'm backing in, I see there's another Prime truck to my right. So after I get backed in, I just check, make sure I'm positioned correctly. I just go over to him. He's sitting in the cab, and I just say, hey, what time was your appointment? Now, mind you, by this time, it's like, it's right around 11:30. I was like, what time was your appointment? He said, 4 a.m. I'm like, damn. He goes, yeah, there's still, like, they take one pallet every half an hour or something. So I kind of just knew I was going to be in for a long day, and I was not wrong. So yeah, I'm pretty much almost reset, because I ran out of time, had to PC over here to the truck stop. But I'm not going to get up until around, let me see, what time is it now? It's like 9:15. I'm going to get up around, probably around 4 a.m. and head to my 01, which is east of here, and then that load's going back to PA. I wasn't looking to go back to PA, but I'll take it because it pays well. So yeah, that's just an update on what I've been up to. Got a couple of things done at home. Moved my 401k from my old job over to my well, I actually had to set up a new account because I had an IRA at this brokerage place, but I didn't have a Roth, but I have a Roth 401k, so I had to set that up, and it was pretty painless. But anyway, B and I are back on the road till the 19th of August, which of course is the one day before the anniversary of the Battle of Fallen Timbers. So everybody be careful out there. Take it easy. There's been some crazy, mudslides in Colorado. Heck, there was even a mudslide in southwestern Pennsylvania on US 40 the other day. I don't know if that road's still blocked, but I saw a message about it. So yeah, just some weird weather. I feel like wearing a mask everywhere is going to come back in fashion if it hasn't already where you are. And I know I just started wearing one again just because some places are already requiring it. So I'm just gonna go back to what I was doing. So anyway, take care. We'll catch you next time on Tim Travels. Bye.